Hey, hello, Shreya Madhavan. We have met before, and of course, we had lots of conversations ourselves and laughed a lot. But as you know, that our podcast is about making sure that stories like mental health issues are out there in the world so that people can understand and come out of their own closets whenever they're feeling certain things and find the right guidance probably to make sure that their mental health issues is solved. So yeah, I'd love to know about you. Could you please explain? I mean, not explain. Sorry. Could you please tell about yourself to our audience?
Sure. Hello to you. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Shreya Madhavan. I am 26 years old and I'm a communication specialist.
Hmm.
That's what I like to call myself. Uh, by profession, yes, I'm a biotechnologist, and then I switched fields and all. I'm a happy go lucky person. I love being happy all the time. I don't smile or laugh that often, unless and until I'm watching a stand up comedy show. And
Okay.
I love reading books, I love writing, I love being with nature. Most of the times, I like being with myself because that's what I believe helps me as a person to interact with other human beings as well.
Okay.
Yes, so that is me.
Right. Perfect. And what do you do as a biotechnologist? What does you do? What exactly?
Yes, that was I was supposed to start with that profession 4 years ago. However, I just stopped doing that. I mean, as a researcher, I did not want to be a researcher. So I switched fields and I took up public relations. And now I'm in the communications sector completely, entirely.
Okay. Are you with us with
So,
PCF?
no, I'm not.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
help with external as well as internal communications. I do that for
Perfect.
for an organization right now. Yes,
Oh, all right. Great. 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 Great to have you. So you have
thank
switched
you.
your, profession as such, right? Or did you switch? Right. Okay. And how is it treating you so far? How is everything going on? Professional wise, career wise.
Professionally, yes, career-wise, it's going fine. I'm just, I'm at ease with myself. In fact, when I see that there are people who really find it difficult to communicate within their organization, you know, uh, with the smallest thing, and that's what internal communications is all about. How you are going about emailing, what you put on in a newsletter,
Right.
basically with content.
Right.
So I am completely I like helping people that way. So I think that's going great for me.
Perfect. Perfect. So Shreya, we'll just try to know more about you. So I'd be asking some questions. It wouldn't be like
Sure,
questions as such, but it would be like conversation. So could you tell me how your childhood was?
certainly.
How exactly you were in your childhood? Shy or extrovert? What kind of person were you?
I was I have been a complete introvert throughout my life. I can be a great conversationalist.
You
Obviously,
are.
depends on the other person and what we are talking about.
Okay.
That's there. However, I've been a complete introvert. I'm like a shy person you would ever in a room. I mean,
Okay.
nobody would even notice. However,
Okay.
I'm the one who participates in all kinds of activities.
Hmm.
I like taking the initiative. I like being out there, which is completely opposite to who I am as a person. I can be participating in the same event as you are. However, I wouldn't know you as a person. That's how it is with
Okay.
me. I've been like that since I was a child, and uh, but uh, obviously I've loved writing since then. I have very few friends. I look up to them only, and the inner circle, as I call it, it's just very small for me. But however, when it comes to enjoying any kind of other activity, like I've been part of many I've cultivated many habits over a period of time. For example, I used to have this thing that every vacation I need to try something new, which means if it's summer vacation time, I've got to try a new hobby, which it could be dancing, it could be singing, it could be swimming, it could be cycling, it could be anything. So every vacation was a new thing for me to try, and I've done that religiously. After which I've realized that it's not, I mean, it's mostly as kids, we have this thing, right? We want to find what we really want, passionate about. At that time, we wouldn't know the word passionate. At that time, we would just be like, it's okay, I'm just
Right.
enjoying, I have
Yeah.
my friends along with me, so it's great.
Right.
So yeah, I've been like that as a kid. I am against violence, obviously.
Hmm.
I cannot take it when people raise their voice. I
Okay.
find it very weird. And then I just I begin to think like there is no reason for anybody to raise their voice in any kind of situation.
Correct.
And I still stick to it. So yes, I'm a sensitive person by nature as well. So yeah, that's how I've been.
Okay. And you told that you are a great conversationalist, right? You just said
Yes,
that.
that I stick
Yeah.
by. Yeah.
Am I a great conversationalist? I don't know. Am I?
Sure. Yes, I've heard you speak. I've heard you converse with, with your teammates as well, and I think it's great. You're going great. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. See, I'm just selling myself out. So next time anyone want to have a conversation, I'm going to let you know the prices. Please make sure you send it to my bank account or something. I can have conversations with you. All right. Okay. And by the way, you have a great smile, Shreya. Just wanted to tell you.
Thank you.
And yeah, so how was life after school? I mean, you were shy and introverted, but at the same time you used to going to different events. So how
Yes.
was life after that? What happened then?
Uh, so school life was fine. I obviously didn't like going to school. I was the kid who loved bunking, however, couldn't bunk. Also, I'm a person who loves shouldering responsibilities in life for no good reason. I think it's because I'm the first child. It comes very naturally to me.
Mhm.
And however, that part of me sort of started taking a back seat as I started growing up. And one of the reasons in why I sort of started feeling different about myself was this. I do not want to take up any responsibility for anyone, and I'd be like, okay, I should be fine with it. However, for a very long period of time, I wasn't fine with it. I was like, maybe there's something I'm doing something really wrong about, to
Right.
that person,
Mhm.
or to myself, or to the situation. I'm doing something wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. This is not the way people are behaving. It happens to people. So that's
Mhm.
how I was. And so after school, obviously I wanted to go to a new city. I was I started feeling very say I would use the word suffocated. It's very simple. It's not a very high profile word that I'm using here. However, I went to the same school for a long period of time, right? And I honestly did not like the people there. There were like few people, few obviously teachers who I genuinely liked. And I don't know if it was the environment or what I was looking for. I just moved to a new city and I was like, okay, no, it's 17. It's high time I move to a new city and make new friends. And that was the start of what I would feel
The rest of yeah.
different about, yeah, for the rest, for obviously till now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is how it was. And I entered college. I made started making new friends, and that's when some sort of you are bound by situations sometimes. However, then you have to start learning from them. So there are a lot of things I learned from there. One would be how you know how we respect other people's boundaries, right? I always thought that people don't respect mine, and this thought was already there when I was say 18 years old. You obviously, so it basically starts from here. You don't want to really do what the other person wants to do, and a simple no wouldn't do for them.
Right. Right.
And then you would say, okay, what is this exactly happening? And with these obviously, again, you're a teenager, and I am the kind of person who internalizes a lot of emotions. I'm not the kind of person who would go straight all out and be like, no, I don't like you. I know you're really not behaving nice with me and all that. I don't do that to anybody because I think the other person is going to feel bad. So again, I start internalizing emotions, and I'd be like, no, this is not the right thing that should be happening. So that's how it all started. And for a very long time, say 4, 5, 6, 7 years, this has happened. And it sort of became worse because that's when you start having emotional outbursts. You start, reacting very differently to different situations. Now, over this time, so school life was fine, right? So when I speak about my school life, till 10th standard was great. However, after that, I started gaining weight as well. So that sort of started affecting my college life as well. In a sense, you try to attract unwanted attention from people, from people you don't know, from people you know, from people who,
Right, right.
uh, I don't know, right? Yeah. So you start attracting unwanted attention, and then they'd be like, uh, it'd be great if you just like could go, spend some more time, exercising. And so like
Right.
I tried. It's like I did try. However, I would say 15 hours outside the house. And I was dead meat by the time I came home, and I was like, oh my God, I need to sleep. And yeah, so I mean, and then you go to these functions, family functions, and places where people who probably, you know a little well would just come up and say, I think, I play tennis, you should also play tennis. It would be great for your body. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate this advice. So yeah,
Exactly.
that sort of setting, that started setting on. And it just started getting worse because again, I'm a person who internalizes emotions. So
Right.
it started getting in, and there was no end to it. And also, when they say you're really, you're really, really fat, you start having weird emotions. As in, you don't know where to exactly spend your emotion. So then you just immediately get irritated and angry with people. So my anger was not in the right place.
Right.
So you end up, as a person, I keep throwing things at people. I keep throwing tantrums. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's how it went. And yes, that was the stage. That was the mid stage, I'd call it, stage where you don't know what is happening exactly to you, and you don't know how to handle what is happening as well. You don't have a control over your situation, and you don't know what exactly you're going to do. And that's when, obviously, all these events together, you just do tend to become, you start thinking about yourself, and then you say, oh my God, okay, so what is exactly happening? Um, am I not really good enough for this world? Obviously, I never suspected my brain, right? I mean,
Of course.
you just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You just say, hi, I'm intelligent. I know that I'm intelligent. However, there would be situations where you just feel, okay, I'm really not good enough for anything I deserve in this world, which happens. So that's exactly what happened. And then you obviously have these flashbacks of what had happened in the seventh standard, or what happened in the ninth standard, or what happened in the 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard. And then you're like, okay. And then you don't know how to handle. So then you just start crying,
Oh.
emotional outbursts. So that's the story, and that's how it's been. Um, After that, I again, because career change, you just didn't want to do what you really want to do. I mean, you just don't want to do what you've been doing, and that's when I wanted to switch fields. Again, I was told that if you like reduce weight, you feel better about yourself. So I was put into yoga sessions for yoga, which is doing where I would say fine. It was fine. However, I just have to say that people doing yoga also do have issues. I mean, sometimes you're
Right.
just thrown, right? You just body shamed everywhere and anywhere. And I'm like, okay, I really didn't expect that as well. I thought this was supposed to be a correction center for your body and
Right.
mind, not for
I
ruining the piece
understand.
that was 0.01% in your, which you already, which you're, which you're finding it difficult to maintain as well. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So in the end, eventually the person would go mad, and just say, oh my god, I'm becoming suicidal and I want to just leave this world. Now this is literal sense, right?
Right. Did this
Literally
happen to
feel.
you? Like this thing
Yes,
has happened?
yes, it did. However, you're just feeling it. You're not executing or implementing it. Now, they're two
Of
different
course.
things
I hope
again.
not. Hmm.
No.
Yeah.
So, you're not speaking to a ghost right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, so this happened. And this is the first time we're experiencing all of these second time, third time. See, taunts are a different feeling. After that, what you get is also a different feeling. And post that, regret. Oh my god, I wasted so much of time thinking about all this, is also
Mm.
some kind of feeling. And all
Right.
of these together create a mess.
Mm.
And in the end, till that time, it didn't even strike me, man, that I have to, visit a probably, what do you say, a psychologist, a therapist, or a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because we've
Therapist.
never learned about all this. We
Right.
don't really have to learn. Why? Because school education is all about academics. We are not looking at spiritual health. We are not talking about mental health. We are not talking about any kind of health. We're just talking about academics as usual. So there was nothing. So in my head, oh my god, there's something wrong with me, but I really cannot correct it. So only thing I can do is cry about it, and I should feel better.
Mm.
For a very long period of time, that's exactly what I did, and that kind of became worse because you're not able to sleep in the night. You are not able to eat properly. You obviously end up eating more items that make you feel good, right? Um, and again, I'm not a person who exercises well because of past issues with exercising. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is an end to the entire life. So yeah, that's how happened, and then it just got worse. Somewhere you just feel, I wish you could. I mean, I wish I could correct it. However, it doesn't happen that way. So now it's all about. We are at that stage where we just feel it's not worth living. So
Mm.
where one point one, obviously you're not sleeping. Point two, you're not eating well. Point three, you're crying even in the night. End of
Right.
story. That's
Right.
what happens, and it's happening. It happened for a very long period of time. After which there was a behavior change. Say in 2021, 2022, there was a different person I could see. Yeah.
Great. 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 Honestly, I think the way you have explained like all of it, I think it's really great because you have actually structured everything. Yeah, I think you told that you're a great conversationalist at the beginning. I think that's true. Take that, and I'm sure you'll do great at PR. And coming to this story that you have shared of yours, I think it happens. Most of the times it just happens, and I guess as you told that you don't have control, and then there are certain stages where it gets worse and or even worse and worse sometimes as well. And you have also mentioned about the thoughts that comes into your mind sometimes being suicidal. I think that is something that has to do with the whole thing. It doesn't come just from you, it just comes because of all the other factors, and the lots of it to actually come there. And I think that's one of the most horrible place to be in. And I'm sure people who are listening, I'm sure these kind of thoughts or these kind of ideations. I hope you understand that there's not an end to anything. There's nothing permanent as such. So just make sure whatever you're happening or whatever you're feeling inside or outside, or something that stimulates you or something that makes you down or depressed, there has to be an end. You just have to wait enough. Try to make sure that things fall into place. Just wait. Time, I don't know if time really heals or not. I'm sure time will definitely make you understand what's right and what's wrong for you eventually. So I think you have to do that. And now we'll listen to the story where Shreya has actually started to heal herself, because she is right here with us smiling, and I hope she's all good. She's all good, of course. So we'll listen how she has coped up. So yeah, Shreya, so what happened after that, and how did you cope up with all of these problems?
Right. So let's start somewhere around COVID time, right? We were all stuck at home, and that's when I
Stuff.
started working. And the outbursts, again, they sort of started increasing a lot. And it was very simple. So if somebody said something like, um, "Oh my God, why are you're not supposed to be eating this, that." it. The person's had it, and the dish in my hand has also had it, because then something breaks, and there's, uh, when I speak about emotional outbursts, you're basically crying, right? Obviously, there could be different kinds of it as well. I may not know of it. However, for me, it was just crying, and that's how it went on. And then one of the persons close to me who I know stood up and said, "No, I think it's high time you go for this. It is very important for the benefit of other people as well. Hi, sorry,
Hey, hi, hi.
was
No, it's
there
okay.
a net?
Yeah, there's a
Okay,
network issue. It's okay. Yeah, so you were here.
sure.
Where were you? I'm sorry. Um,
I'm sorry, I was talking about my with a therapist. Yes, what
yes,
happened
yes. Mhm.
post
And then
therapy?
your best friend, I mean, one of your close friends has told you.
Yeah, close friends, close people I know said this. Sorry, that I need therapy. So I was made sure that I made sure that I go at least once in a month or so to the psychiatrist. And obviously, there are medications that work with you. There are medications that don't work with you. The dosage also obviously matters.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Considering all of that, I've just been to a psychiatrist twice.
Okay.
And after that, I wasn't obviously forced to start therapy. I was told that, whenever I feel comfortable, I can. uh, Obviously, I wanted to hurry. I don't know, I think I wanted to hurry would be the wrong word. I would say something, I want to start with things quickly. So I was like, okay, great, we'll go ahead with it, jump into that. uh, this is actually my second time with a therapist, and that is why it took me quite a long time to settle with one and be like, okay, I'm ready for it, because my experience the first time wasn't that great. I was
Hmm.
told things like, this is just a phase,
Okay, okay, okay,
you will be all right soon.
okay, okay.
Not really a good thing to tell people. And so this is what happened. And the second time was really good. In fact, the lady was quite kind and helpful. However, there were other factors that I had to consider. I again wasn't getting too much of time to settle, go for it, and that sort of stopped it. However,
Hmm.
the healing period, obviously, as you said, time helps a lot. It is a factor that one must consider,
Correct.
and that has helped a lot. Slowly, I started incorporating a lot of things I realized with myself, and that comes with a lot of self awareness. For example,
Right,
things
right,
like, standing up for oneself, and I think that is the most important. And that's how it happened with me. And some things that you need to, when you say a no, it's a simple no. When you've got to convince the other person that this is a no from your end, be it whatever, even if it's a small outing with somebody, or if it is something big. And if you're not comfortable with it, it is fine. It is okay to let go and not feel guilty about it.
right, right,
I
right.
think that was something I really learned, and it has helped me a lot. Uh, and
You
I've
know,
obviously also the most important. Yes, please continue. I'm sorry.
yeah, I think people generally have problems with saying no. You know, sometimes we just,
They
uh,
do.
yeah, I think that's one of the things. I think people should be more, or people like us, everyone, actually, they should know how to be very, practical about what they want and what they're not. And when they don't really like something doing, I think it should be a no, which is basically a problem. And of course, since you told that you internalize lots of emotions, I think people like us, because even I do, certain emotions that I try to understand. So yeah, even I have a hard time saying no before, but I didn't affect me in a certain level as of now. But yeah, I think it's a very good habit to make sure that you have your boundaries aligned, you know what to do, what not to do, and keep yourself in a position and have that control over yourself, where you can prioritize yourself, because at the end it's about you. Right, I think that's really important. So how that happened to you? Because you also had problems with saying no. So did it come into place?
So it's very simple. For example, as I mentioned to you, if it's the smallest thing, like I, it's okay. Let's make it this way. It's an example I'm taking. Not that everybody has to follow. However, it's a learning lesson for people out there, right? It's very simple. It starts from the most basic thing. Okay, you have made a commitment to your friend that you have to hang out for say 2.5 hours, and you have not been doing well the entire day. I'm talking about emotional and mental health here
Right.
specifically.
Right.
Your day has not been going all right, and you are 100% sure, as an individual you're 100% sure that meeting somebody is the last thing for you to do today. Now again, this varies. People might feel better when they share with people, with their
Yeah.
friends and all
Mm.
of it. I'm coming from a different perspective and situation altogether. I'm not very comfortable sharing with immediately. I'm not really comfortable doing that. I cannot share with people immediately. So it takes me time to process, and I took my own time. And I'm like, no. So you break the commitment and say, okay, no, I'm not feeling fine today. So I won't be able to meet you. And whether the other person understands or not should not be your concern. You have to sit there guilt free and say, no, I have taken this step for my health, and nobody else can do it for you. And also, I made it a point to tell everybody around me, you know, be it people I know, people I obviously my friends, that mental health, I am going through a tough period and I want you to understand. And if you cannot understand, do not comment. And I was very, very uh, hurt about it. And the reason being is nobody has a say in what you think and what you say and what you do in life other than you. So, this is the kind of awareness level I'm talking about, which people must have. And it should come from within you, because again, nobody else can do it for you. You are the only one standing there, and then you cannot just stand and be like, oh my god, I'm going through a tough period. Yes, I know you are, and you're the one taking the decision for yourself. So this was a simple example, and this has happened. However, this has happened, and it is good of them to say, okay, yes, maximum obviously they can say, yes, we are here for you. And whenever you feel comfortable speaking again and listening to us, make sure just know that we are here. And this also should be taken, and this also should be noted, that you are not putting them down as a friend, because
Right.
sometimes your friends also feel bad. Oh my god, we are not being there for this person, they're going through a lot. And you should also make a point to let them know that I'm a
Right.
different person, and this has nothing to do with you being a friend. You're an amazing person. And make sure we convey that, because again, it's like a cycle, right? I say something, then you're going to feel bad about it, and then you say something, then I'm going to feel bad about it. Instead, just be clear with your communication as well, as to why you need this time.
Right.
I'm not giving you details, but I need this time for myself,
Right.
and it would be good enough. So yeah, so that's how it works. And this actually stems from the inability to be, to speak to people, right? Initially, I just couldn't take this for myself, and I was at a stage where I knew if I did not do this, I would eventually go mad. And literal sense, I would go mad, and nobody could do anything about it. And yes, that is obviously there. And that's how you also stop a lot of questions coming to you. And I think that is something all of us, people who are struggling with mental health, go through. There are
Right.
millions and millions of questions thrown at you all the time, all the stages. And unless and until you are seeking help from a professional, which I mean, you cannot really deal with things. And you really need to, that's exactly two things what I mentioned: being self aware and also seeking help professionally. Two things
Right.
that will just pull you across and then help you stand again. And that is what is lacking in most of the cases.
Right. Exactly. So, Shreya, could you tell me how things changed after you visited, the psychologist, right? Let's say the professional help once you started. How
Yes,
things changed for you?
the thing is, it starts. things changed. Obviously, it started changing. It's basically, I'm not going to reveal what. Obviously, every person's
Of course.
uh, uh, work, I mean, with their therapist is different, their situation is different, perspectives are different, opinions are different. However, in my case, it was mostly sitting down with my emotions. I'm a person who's, as I mentioned to you, so this all goes back to how you are as a person, right?
Right.
I know I'm emotional, I know I'm sensitive, I know I'm a kind of person who would feel bad in like a second. I cannot change that. I obviously can change the way I respond. Um and that is something that, the sessions help me realize that. Um, you know, it is okay, it is okay to cry. First thing, yes, it is okay to cry. It is okay to feel an emotion entirely, completely. If you feel like laughing, you laugh. If you feel like crying, crying. There is nothing wrong in it.
Right.
You know, because I've been crying for a very long time, for everything, for good, bad, everything. I sit and cry. So my mind stopped differentiating. It just said, "हाँ ठीक है, मेरे को रोना आ रहा है, तो I'm gonna sit and cry." That's exactly started happening, and this is how I had to communicate to my counselor slash therapist. I had to tell her, this is what happens, and that's how it started. Sitting down with your emotions, and that's the first step to it, where we just feel everything is gloomy, everything is dull, and then you'll have weird people coming and tell you, no, there is light, at the end of the tunnel. And at that moment, that's the wrong statement to make. That's
Right.
absolutely the wrong statement to make. You cannot say that to anybody. Okay, oh, you're just feeling bad. You can't just go tell the person, this is very good, you'll find it really great. No, that doesn't happen that way. It doesn't work also that way.
Correct.
You just have to be there, sit with your emotions, however difficult it is to process. And that has taken a long time.
Right.
It doesn't come easily to anybody. You, at that time when you're sitting down with your emotions also, you will feel like it's for people who feel a lot, right? And when people act out all this in movies, you're like, "Arey nahi, ye bakwas kar raha hai." It doesn't happen that way.
Right.
It is for real. And
Right.
people who don't express, I just stare at them. I'm like, you are mad if you don't express emotions. No, jokes aside, I'm a person who feels a lot. And it's all like, it's all extreme. Either I'm feeling very bad, very sad, or very happy. Um, there is no limited. There's no limit to the feelings you have. So yeah, so that's how it started, and I'm still continuing with it. So again, so it's very important, the kind of professional help you're seeking, the person who you're speaking to matters a lot. um, and also understanding that they're also coming from a different space. They are there to help you. And sitting down with them, getting to know. Obviously, you know yourself. I'm not saying you don't know yourself. You obviously know yourself. It's just that it
Being
takes some
self-aware.
time.
Yeah.
And yes, and that awareness takes a lot of time. And it is okay. People 40, 50, 60 also need it.
Right.
Everybody needs it, and it is very important to feel that, because that's how you are going to be better as a person. You'll be able to contribute in a better way to your surroundings, and that is very important at the end of the day. And that's how it is going for me right now. And I feel, yes, this is how, I'm not saying this is how it would be in the next few years. You're about to feel different things at different stages.
Correct. Honest.
However, you should allow yourself to feel it and not curb it and be like, no.
Try to hide it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the entire essence for me, as a person who has gone through a part of it. Feels. And that's the kind of that's the first thing that's the first thing I've been sticking to for a long time now. And that's helped me a lot.
Okay. Great. And how are you now, Shreya? How are you today?
Today I am on cloud 9, because for the last 2 days I've been I've been outside, I've been with nature. So I'm at peace with myself as of now. And as far as this podcast is concerned, it's great because I just get to, I don't know, somewhere I just feel, uh, you get to reach out to people who, you know, who probably are going through a lot and they probably don't know what to do.
Right.
That could be one thing. But that's my perspective again because I had to reach out to the right people and it takes time. So yes, I'm doing fine. Not entirely fine, but fine. Like mentally, emotionally today, yes, it is. I'm at peace with myself, living in the present moment and taking each day as it comes. That's how
Perfect.
it works.
Perfect. So, what would you give, advice to, let's say, someone who's facing through similar problems? What would you want them to do?
The very being the extreme word here,
Mm.
saying that you need to accept what is happening with you. It is not nonsense. It is not a phase. It is not a phase in your life. And people coming and telling you that, "ए हमारी जिंदगी में वैसे होता है." मेरे को ऐसे, I've heard a lot of people coming and telling me this. I've also gone through a lot. No, you are in no position to put down another person's feelings or
Because there's no
experiences
comparison.
or emotions. Yes. So you've got to first accept what you are feeling, what you are going through.
Mm.
And that obviously, you have to understand each and everything, how you react to situations, how you are feeling in the morning, how you feeling during the day, how you feeling during the night, how are you feeling after speaking to a person, how are you feeling after, and this is professionally, personally, everywhere. And that is what is important. Accept it, and that takes a lot of time. So yes, so understand that it's going to take you time, then take that first step of accepting it. And once you are aware of this, okay, this acceptance that yes, this is all it is, then go ahead and look out for help. And when I say look out, because there are people who do not know where to go, what to do at all.
Right.
You
Right.
For me, it was a little easy because I already knew 2-3 people who were in this, in the same line.
Right.
So for me, it just became, I wouldn't say again, it was obviously difficult because my acceptance came quite late in life, like very, very late. Uh, so yeah, so that took a lot of time. So again, you accept and then you look out. I wouldn't even say seek, look out. See where you can go. And honestly speaking, if it doesn't work with one person, there are many other practitioners who can help you, with your mental and emotional health. So that is very important. Don't get stuck there and be like, oh no, this is not happening, nobody understands me. There will be a person, yeah. There will be one person who will get you through this. So yeah, that would be my advice to people.
Perfect. Right. And as you mentioned, as you already know that we run a foundation ourselves, Project C Foundation, wherein we try to make sure that a psychologist or, we have different initiatives. Again, we have a project friend, we have a project psychologist. Project friend would be more of a, emotional support, as the name suggests, project friend. And project psychologist is more of the professional help where they understand you in a more appropriate level. I think they're all trained and amazing, the psychologists that we have. So everyone listening, as Shreya told, just make sure you make a point of this. First, you'll have to be aware of it. If anything is happening, make sure you accept it, because only after that you can go to the next level or the next step where you can actually find out or seek out, or as Shreya mentioned, look out for help. And of course, there are many psychologists, many people out there who are very well, very well, what's the word, they are very well aware of the kind of problems that you're going through, or they are very well aware to, in order to do things in order to make sure that you're all right. So just do that. Meet a psychologist. If not, just come to us. We have a great set of psychologists ourselves. You can anytime come. It's a 24/7 service, and we guarantee a 10 minutes delivery, mental health support delivery. So just make sure you make a point of that, and we'll be always ready to help you out. And again, anyone else who would want to share their stories with us, they can also share so that people get inspired. Because at the end, it's all about your fears of not coming out. But trust us, once you come out, the world is way better. And it should be like that. It's way better when you actually come out. So do that. And thank you, Shreya. Thanks for being with us.
Thank
And
you.
this is last question that I wanted to ask. So
Sure.
after all these things that have happened, the whole stages and all, how were your parents' support? I mean, because that support is something really important because most of the times parents do not understand. And I would want to know how your parents helped you or, what happened with that.
Uh, I'll start with this, that all humans are different. You, me, our parents, very different people, right? Our level of understanding is way different than their level of understanding. Initially, yes, it took them some time. However, they are also people who read a lot, right? It takes them time. So they read up a lot. It took them time to understand a little. It took them time to understand what exactly is happening, and also you need to understand they're also scared, right? So because
Right.
it's an unknown field, it's like
Correct.
it is an absolutely unknown field. uh, so obviously it took them time. However, they were very cooperative post that
All right.
understanding. They also make it a point that yes, they also spoke to the doctors. How Not obviously with the counselor. We spoke to the doctor, the psychiatrist, and they were like, okay, this is there, and now you've got to tackle it. And the only thing any human can always say to the other human is, I am here for you. And which means I'm here to listen to you. Yes, so which is great. For me, yes, it was really. In fact, everybody around me, and my parents, yes, they were very, very understanding. They got to know. They were like, okay, fine. So this is a thing. We will deal with this together, and it is fine. And usually parents have this thing. They say, "हमारे ज़माने में ऐसा नहीं होता था."
Yeah, yeah.
We were working and all of that. They say all of it, and my parents were quite understanding. They were like, okay, no, this is something we will deal with it, and it's okay, great. It's good that you've understood something that you need, and it's good to go ahead with it. And yes, they were very cooperative with that, and they're still being very cooperative about it. So yeah.
Great, great. So again, thanks a lot, Shreya. Wanted to know that because sometimes, as you told, they do not understand, or let's say the lack of awareness. There's still a very huge gap of awareness that we as Indians, or we, I think, our country, most of we don't take this seriously. Mental health, we don't take
Yes.
it seriously, or I think it's high time that we take it seriously. I think there are many things that's happening right now in the world, and I think this is the most important thing that we have to look up to, right now, something to dive into more deeper and understand the whole casualties of it. Because once it starts, there are many things that happen. As you told, this is not just a phase of your life. This is something that will actually shape your life. So when it has that kind of impact, I'm sure people should get aware of it. People should understand it, and I think they shouldn't delay. They should just make sure that they know that and seek help or look out for help as soon as possible. And I think that's when you save time, let's say, because at the end it's just one life, and you have to live it to the fullest. Perfect. So thanks, Ryan. How was your experience talking to me or talking to us, let's say?
It was great. It was great. Thank you so much for this platform. Point number one. Point number two. It was fun. It was fun. So from the time I've known what Project C does, and to this phase, it has been great. It is great to know that there are people who are willing to help. There are people who are taking strides towards this path. Obviously, you have many people here, but speaking with respect to you guys, I think it's a great thing you guys are doing. So yeah, it was fun. It was a fun conversation.
Perfect. Thank you, Shreya. Thanks for being part of our podcast, and all the best for your future. And
Thank you.
yeah, and I'll look out for you as well. I'll see, maybe, yeah, maybe see when you do better at PR, help us out as well, help the foundation a bit for the PR as well, I guess. We'll do that. All right.
Sure.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Shreya. Thanks a lot for
Yeah,
spending time. It was great talking to you, and I obviously all the
same
best
here.
for your future.